The Moeller technique is a three-part technique, meaning there are actually 3 strokes in the technique, 3 different strokes. And it is best learned as Moeller 3s. You'll hear about Moeller 2s and Moeller 4s, but if you start with Moeller 3s, understand that first. The other 2 are simple. In Moeller 3s, there are 3 parts to the technique. And in this series, I'll teach you each of them one-handed. We'll learn the right hand and the left hand separate, then put them together to put the technique to practical use. Before we do that, there are some things that you need to consider about the Moeller technique. First is position. The Moeller technique is best learned in the German position. It can be played in French, it is often played in American, but it is best learned out here in German. The technique utilizes the entire arm and all 4 hinge points: shoulder, elbow, wrist, and fingers. In the German position, you have easiest access to all of those hinge points. So that's how we will learn it, in the German position. As far as fulcrum, to start, we're going to have a fulcrum in the forefinger on the 2nd knuckle, right there, with the thumb on the side of the stick. Now, as you work on the Moeller technique, as you get comfortable with it, as you work towards mastery, don't be afraid to move the fulcrum around. You'll find that different fulcrum points make the technique easier or more difficult. And you'll find that you may want to switch fulcrum points within the technique at certain tempos to make it work more efficiently for you. That's all part of this. Also keep in mind, to learn the technique, you have to be very comfortable with wrist strokes and finger strokes. So make sure you have that down, because in the technique, we bring in the elbow and the shoulder. And the elbow and the shoulder are of no use if the wrist and fingers don't know how to work properly. So before you go any further, make sure you've practiced your wrist and finger technique. The Moeller technique is a lot like the basic wrist stroke in that you go up to strike down. It is also like the free stroke in that you keep a loose grip on the stick so that you can take advantage of the natural rebound of the stick. Keep that in mind as you're working on this. Finally, drum height is important. If your drum is too high, you're going to have difficulty learning the Moeller technique. And you'll know that as you're learning because you'll be hitting a lot of rim. If you're hitting a lot of rim, lower the drum and the technique will work better at a height that is a little bit lower. In the next video, we will start to learn the technique.